Hello everyone and welcome to another CineQuest Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about a movie. Normally I'd go watch a movie first. Homeboy went to go watch a movie first.
Lucked out.
And I went to go watch it. Oppenheimer. Do you know much about
the background story to it?
Is it J. Robert?
Oh, I don't really know much about him aside from the whole...
The fact that he built the atomic bomb.
Or facilitated the entire shebang, yeah.
Right, Manhattan Project.
J. Robert.
Yeah. J. Robert Oppenheimer, yeah, so I was correct.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so you didn't know much about the guy?
Aside from like the basics, no.
You just knew he was kind of like the guy who started this.
Pretty much. Some crazy goddamn nerd who banged a bunch of hot scientists / activists /
communists. Written and directed by Christopher Nolan. Are you a fan of Christopher Nolan movies? Or I mean, do you have a problem with Christopher Nolan?
No, I don't. He's all right. I haven't watched too many of his movies. He's had quite a few.
You seen the Batman trilogy?
Yeah, and that's mostly it.
You seen? Oh, we went to go watch Interstellar. You fucking fell asleep.
Was that Interstellar?
That was Interstellar. You woke up and literally said, "This movie's boring," and I was like, "Bitch, you were asleep through the whole fucking movie." I remember. You're like, nothing really happened. I was like, there's like a huge fight scene and shit like that.
I remember doing that in Inception.
Inception.
That's what I was like.
Yeah,
wait.
sorry. They both begin with I.
Because I like so very rarely go to have to like rewatch a movie back in the theaters. Like I could.
Interstellar. Yes, excuse me. It was Interstellar.
I think I saw Interstellar like in my living room or something. So
yeah, Inception was the one we went to go watch.
Inception was
We went to go watch it. You fell asleep. I remember looking over. You're fucking passed out. And then when I'm like, movie's over, you're like, that movie's fucking boring. I was like, bitch, you were fucking asleep the whole fucking time. Fuck you, man. Yes, I
spent money on this.
I do want to reiterate that.
I need to go watch it again.
That Roland and I
still don't remember.
Like Roland and I have like lived together like almost
all sorts of weird shit.
Over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And we've been watching movies, one of the movies like for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And there's been many moments where we're in the theater and I look over and I'm like, asleep? Or shut up? You know, one of those things. Like it happens fairly regularly.
Another beer.
Yeah. We must drink before we go to watch the movie for sure.
Though, like, really, I'm not too picky. I'm not myself as far as my needs in my cinema, criteria or requirements. Like, if the Sci-Fi Channel was still a fucking thing, I would just sit there and watch some
shit that was coming up.
Yeah,
on that,
like
sure.
afternoon marathon, like every other like Saturday or Sunday kind of thing, and that would keep me moderately happy, sane.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But all that shit's gone now.
Sci-Fi Channel still exists, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Cartoon Network doesn't. Right?
As of now that I've seen.
Yeah, so.
Before we continue, we are drinking a beer called from the Texas Ale Project. It's 100 Million Angels Singing Double IPA, Pine Resin Citrus, 9.2 alcohol per volume, 100 IBU. If I can get up there close enough.
Think Texas, drink Texas.
100 Million Angels is a lyric from a Johnny Cash song. I believe When a Man Comes Around.
Aha, stop that.
Yes.
Moving on.
What's
important. When did you go check this out? Like last night or last?
No. 2 days ago.
After work, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, after you came out of church?
I don't go to church.
Work?
No, I was off.
Church, work, church?
I was off that day. You know, Cillian Murphy has worked with Christopher Nolan before.
Have you seen him in anything other than the Batman trilogy stuff?
Yes, 28 Days Later.
Oh, so, man, I don't remember that movie. I didn't remember enjoying it.
Well, you need to watch it again because it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
I watched him in Peaky Blinders, the show.
I'd always meant to check that out.
That's a pretty good show.
Cool.
It's a good show.
My interest in that show actually stems from a movie around that time period. Did you ever see Gangs of New York?
I did. I like that movie too.
Yeah, it's great, right?
That is a Martin Scorsese movie, I believe.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, isn't he doing something recently now?
He's doing another movie called Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes.
Which looks pretty cool.
I saw that trailer and I knew I wasn't going to fucking remember the title.
It's based on a true story.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, It would have to be if it's going to be something that goddamn ridiculous, because that's about as far as I can get to remember it. What was the name of the other actually cool trailer for once in a theater I hadn't seen in a while? They're usually dog shit if I'm watching like maybe like something for like Razor Blades or I forget what else. You know, shit.
You mean Nuvi News or something?
News. Oh,
that Maria Menounos shit?
God damn it. No, I meant the good thing. I was talking about the Exorcist trailer.
Oh, The Exorcist, the Believer.
Yeah, I mean good cool. As in like I'd be worth a couple bucks.
Yeah, I'd watch it. Yeah, for sure.
But otherwise,
though most Exorcist, most possession type of movies these days, I am not a fan of.
I forget if I've ever asked, but have you seen Tenet? That's another Christopher Nolan one, right? Isn't it some like big confusing pile of dog shit?
Actually, I saw Tenet. But that was the first. That was the first movie I went to, back after the COVID shit happened. They started letting people back in the theaters.
Okay.
Tenet was the movie I went to go watch.
Sure.
And nothing has coming out because everything was coming out either on streaming. I think we watched Bill and Ted's Face and Music.
Yeah, we did.
In that way. And December, watching Tenet, I did not like that movie. I thought I was one of the ones that was just like, maybe I'm just too stupid to understand what's going on. Maybe. But it was so convoluted.
Uh-huh.
It was nonsensical.
Exactly. It's just confusing for the sake of being stupid.
Well, the thing is, I thought it was cool the first like 5-10 minutes of the movie. And then it just like went downhill from there for me. I didn't understand what was going on. It seemed like a bunch of nonsense, and it was just a pretentious type. It's the movie
too far up its own ass.
Yes, it's the Donnie Darko of 2020.
Ooh,
you know, damn. the type where you go, what's the movie about? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck the movie's about.
So I have to hate watch this, is what you're telling me.
You might have to. I mean, don't get me wrong, the action scenes are pretty cool, but I didn't really like the acting. Like, I didn't believe the actors themselves. I don't know if it was just me, like. Their acting's portrayal was just not very good. And then, of course, the story itself was just a bunch of nonsense.
I guess hard cut to that then. What other Nolan movies have you seen?
I've seen Interstellar. I like that one.
I didn't. I saw that by myself.
I really liked Inception.
Actually, I was drinking at my old apartment, and I started watching Interstellar with friends. And then they had to leave because it was getting late. And I ended up fucking sitting there by myself to finish this bullshit. And the whole time, it had been at least another hour, I guess, at that point. Maybe hour 15. I'd then thinking to myself, is this worth finishing sitting this here? Should I keep doing this every fucking second?
Absolutely.
And I regret it. I could have just cut that shit down and fucking forgotten about it and been fine.
No, I like Interstellar. I like the Batman trilogy.
Oh, no.
I don't think I think he did Memento. I haven't seen that though.
Oh yeah. It was. It is great. I do like Memento, though I haven't seen it in so fucking forever and a half. So.
Well, regardless of Christopher Nolan's wins and losses, I would say Oppenheimer is a win for me.
Oh, sure, man.
Though it is a 3-hour-long film, it's stacked with the cast.
So I think I texted you about it. Like the pacing for it or whatever is just so
it was able to keep your attention, you know, like regardless if it's just a dialogue-heavy movie.
The ridiculous ass like goth action Indiana Jones knockoff score that it was going along to.
I dug it.
It was great, but it also you totally could see those moments where it's just like I'm like I went with family and told them like. So this bomb's gonna go fucking, at some point. You might want to like.
You know, it's funny when the bomb went off,
and then it actually didn't. It was dead silence, right?
Yeah, but then like it waited a long time. I was like, it's coming. Yeah, I go, it's coming.
And so that was really funny because I got to watch sort of the reaction of the crowd, seeing like, what? Do you hear something? And then like you'd always see, like I did see a few people who were like, just
they know
wait
it's coming.
For it. Like, no, this is a 3-hour movie. Like it's gonna. Take a bit, just don't count it down. Like it's fine. You're just and then,
because I mean, technically, the bomb was like 20 miles away, or some shit.
Yes.
I don't know like the details.
I don't either, but like basically they got hit with the aftershocks.
Yeah.
And so again, it's just like thunder or whatever. It takes a minute, and you'll hear what's left from that Indian reservation that just. Totally didn't get fried for the next 1,000 years or anything like that, and completely irradiated and destroyed and shit on, and still being used though.
What did you think of the cast?
I was very impressed, surprised too, even I didn't follow this movie like as it developed or any of its announcements and going. Have you or did you?
No, I didn't know the amount of people that were going to be in this movie.
I was
Initially, but I
had
mean,
some cool
I
stuff.
heard a lot about it, so it wasn't a surprise to see. I knew like Robert Downey Jr. was going to be in there
Yep.
and Matt Damon, but as far as
I
like
know Matt Damon was in there, but
a bunch of other people,
Robert Downey had a
coming in
pretty
now.
cool role as
the general,
villain.
Leslie Groves. Was he a villain?
Well, that
really? Was he a villain?
No, the general. The general wasn't.
No, like Matt Damon's. Like he wasn't a fucking.
No,
villain,
he wasn't.
No.
No, he wasn't. He just had he had goals and expectations.
He had a job to do.
Right. So, but he was cool. Matt Damon's character was great, but Robert Downey was a sneaky little fuck.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Granted, he, I guess, seemed to be kind of thin-skinned as it turned out for the whole thing going to whatever kinds of means that he ended up with this weird. So I don't know the literal actual history to how. Apparently, if this is anything related to actual history, the relationship between fucking Strauss and Oppenheimer.
Well, from my understanding, this is the closest.
Because there's no wiki. There's no wiki. Not yet, anyways.
This is apparently the closest to accurate
and
historically,
and
to the book. The book itself is American Prometheus.
Okay.
And it's probably like the closest account. I say that Oppenheimer to me was a really good, engaging story. Heavy on the dialogue, didn't bother me at all. Story kind of intertwined and moved at a pretty decent pace. I've heard some people say it was sluggish. I didn't think so. I didn't really feel the 3 hours. As I would check out my watch every so often, but just to see like how much time in the movie I had because I didn't feel the story at that particular time was done yet. So I figured, oh, maybe I still got more time, and I did. And I was like, oh,
it was
sweet.
kind of hard to tell how. The story reached any sort of climax or as far as any of the pacing goes, it always seemed just very action fast.
I would say
I'm banging chicks
the initial
getting
climax
married to
is the
others
bomb.
and having kids and still rubbers are for loot. What?
Would you say the initial climax is the bomb? But it's in the middle of the movie though,
Yes. Let's see.
I would say
yes, it is. So and it is again towards the middle of the movie. So.
And they still followed after the fact, like the bomb happened, then the aftermath of him losing his security clearance.
Or being denied his security clearance.
Being denied his security clearance.
As a result of the accusations or...
Strauss, right? It was Strauss who's doing that. He did that.
Oh, yeah. He tried... So, I didn't really quite understand all of it, but apparently he just, it's some sort of situation, got butthurt about something... The really smart scientist, who's definitely not himself up his own ass, said, of all things, himself, after,
Well, from my understanding,
stupid reason,
the Strauss guy, played by Robert Downey Jr., in real life was a very vindictive person. So, he got to, butthurt a lot of things.
Yeah.
About a lot of things. And I don't know if you...
Thin skin.
Bryce brought this to my attention, and when I saw it, it kind of, implied some certain things is that whenever he was denied his seat at the end of the movie, they mentioned a name. You remember the name?
No.
It was John F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh,
John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, of one of the okay,
one of the people.
He'd mentioned a few, yeah.
Come back to the frame. Come back to the frame.
God damn it! Just trying to remember the.
What do you think that implies? That's implying somewhat, very casually, passively, very nonchalantly.
Well, I mean, I don't want to imply anything, but I'd like to infer that Kennedy got his later in the end.
Yeah, exactly, right. Bryce
he deserved it, probably.
Bryce.
I mean, Robert Downey would have been a great cabinet member.
Well, Bryce had mentioned that. That maybe implied that he may have...
useful tool for Truman, anyways.
He may have something to do whenever... Because, he plays the long game.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Strauss in the movie plays the long game, So that would infer, or imply, whatever.
So Robert Downey is great in all of his, wonderful, villainy. But he really just plays, I don't know, bottom door barrel slut to fucking Truman. For the few seconds that Truman is in this goddamn movie.
You know who was Truman?
No, I don't. I looked at it and I was like, why does this look like Paul Giamatti?
Gary Oldman.
Really?
Yeah, it was Gary Oldman who played Truman.
Awesome. Okay.
Real quick, Bryce had brought it up regarding the John F. Kennedy Jr. thing, but he mentioned Gary Oldman, that he was playing the same character he did in fucking Fifth Element as Truman. Do you remember his character in Fifth Element?
Well, yeah, he was Zorg.
Yeah, so he was he mentioned that Gary Oldman is playing Zorg as fucking Truman.
Yeah, I can see that. That's
Truman
actually
was an
perfect.
asshole, like it seemed like.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, man, what did he have? Like 3 lines in the whole movie? It was perfect.
It was like enough, yeah.
Saying about you, bitch. Get out of here, you little fucking nerd. Get ass out of here. And then, like, before he even closed the door, what did he actually say?
Like, don't let that crybaby. Don't let that crybaby
back in here. Like, I laughed my ass off. It was great.
Yeah, because Oppenheimer in the movie feels that he has blood on his hands.
Yeah, he's very like stricken by the guilt of, the bits and pieces he's allowed himself to like see and understand
and
about
Truman,
the consequences.
What he says is that no one gives a shit who made the bomb.
Nope.
They only care about who dropped it. He's like, I'm the one that dropped it.
Me, bitch.
It's like he was almost proud to have the blood on his hands.
Yeah, what do you mean, like? That was the whole bit,
He was bathing in it, licking his fucking hands.
Get the fuck out of here, man. I don't need your shit. He's just chilling in the bright-ass Oval Office, just having such a great time. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I loved that whole thing, though. Like, again, Robert Downey just was with the perfect... amount of petty compared to,
petty motherfucker.
In the pecking order of that whole goddamn administration. Again, Truman's the top bitch.
Well, I mean, in the movie, he thought that Oppenheimer had turned all the scientists against Strauss.
Because he's just
including because he's that egotistical and he is that narcissistic, whatever. And he thought that just because...
I was thinking paranoid, but yeah, all of that is included.
Yeah, all that shit.
Or that's like a part of it.
I mean, he thought just in their first meeting that it was all about Einstein, just because he didn't acknowledge him. Yeah. He's like, and that guy who's with
he must have done something or said something.
Yeah, but that guy who's a Strauss says well, maybe they were discussing something completely important, which they reveal at the end of the movie.
Oh, you mean the aide at the end who just like they do those like that dead like I'm gonna try to murder you and then myself.
But yeah, like
smiles, they shot each other, and he just pushes him out.
But I mean that comment of him saying that maybe they were discussing something completely like something
which
more
they
important.
They were, like it was an annoying like actual trying to like get to the way. I don't mean to like.
Man, you're just moving all over the fucking place.
Need to stretch, baby. I'm still in shot. It's great. So, yeah, it was just though that sort of conversation was more of like cheeseball stuff too. Christopher Nolan told a good story, but there's nothing really fucking complicated about any of this. It just, I am become death, destroyer of worlds, bloom.
Right, but would you say like that's the way he told the story, jumping from time, like back and forth in time, because it wasn't linear.
No.
At all.
Yeah, he had like at least 3 different like.
I think if it was told in a very linear way, it would have been boring.
2 like maybe sub plots to explain the main plot. Well, in which it's like
beginning of the movie, it's his early life and him getting to get to that point of the Manhattan Project, right? He teaches at the universities, right? He's an awkward student. He tries to poison that fucking professor at some point.
Yes.
You remember that? And then it goes to the Manhattan Project, right? Mind you, subplot, he's a womanizer and has affairs and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And there's that other character, not his wife, but Florence Pugh, who he has sex with, and she's trouble, and she's a communist.
But you're talking about after they divorced.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like
before she killed herself.
That wasn't his wife.
Originally, yes.
She wasn't his wife.
What do you mean?
Florence Pugh wasn't his wife. It was just a mistress.
No, they were married and then divorced.
Did they?
Yes.
I don't recall that.
Doesn't matter. I'm right. Doesn't matter. I'm right. That's what I meant to say. Wrong. That's fine. You can try, and edit it out, and I'm sure you'll be.
Yeah, whatever. if I go back and find the truth, I'm gonna cut in.
You won't.
Right there.
No, you won't.
And
I'm just saying that right now, Ray.
Oh, you're gonna fucking no.
It'll be great.
No,
I mean, you'll be fine. I'm not gonna give you shit for it.
No, fuck you.
You'll be fine. You're fine, baby.
Anyways, overall thoughts of Oppenheimer.
It was very cool.
Cast, great.
Yes.
Story, pretty good. Told
well enough.
Yeah.
Told well enough. Probably could have shaved a bit of that, obviously, maybe out here and there.
I'll be honest with you. Like, since Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, I need movies to be that long if they need to flesh out the story. If it's a fucking like zombie movie, give me 1 hour and a half. That's it. Don't fucking push it any further. But if a movie like this,
what do you think about the Schumacher cut?
The Schumacher
of Batman,
Robin or Batman Forever?
Forever, right?
I've never seen that one. Does that exist?
No one has, apparently, other than Kevin Smith.
He hasn't seen that shit.
He's shared it with a crowd of lucky motherfucks.
Has he?
Apparently, supposedly, allegedly, I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. It's fun to think about. If perhaps we could get our own sharing of that. I don't know.
We'll see.
Nah, it doesn't matter. I'll cut the rest of that.
I'll email Kevin Smith.
The whole important thing that I'm going to go ahead and end this on is that I was right and Ray is wrong, but it doesn't matter because this won't be in here.
Overall, you liked Oppenheimer?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Would you watch it again?
Oh, I plan to. Yeah. Whenever, whichever streaming service it comes to.
There are so many names and like people in this movie that I feel like I kind of lost track for a bit. Whenever they would bring somebody else up, and then I had to like kind of like concentrate to determine who they were talking about at some point because things were pretty much at a rapid pace.
I did not bother trying to keep up with the names at all for the most part. Like I had a few just like, all right, I'm gonna try to have to look at this up later after the fact that, you know, so and so actor was this, whatever. I saw those movies there and those ones there. Google, whatever. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
All right. Well, I liked the movie a lot. I thought the story was told well. I love the casting.
Any kind of rating or any whatever. Just look, go watch it. Save your cash.
Can I ask a question? Did you watch it? How'd you watch it? Was it IMAX, regular?
Oh, screen? Regular. I'm not gonna borrow.
I saw it in XD.
I've XD. Is that like?
That's kind of like the whole speaker system at Cinemark.
Do you hold the glasses away from your face?
Well, you know when the bomb, like it was silent. It was like dead silent. My theater had a bunch of teenagers in there, but they were quiet the entire fucking time. No one said a word, surprisingly. But whenever the bomb was dropped and like there's like no sound, I was just waiting. And then as soon as that happened, it was loud as fuck. And I know a lot of people have complained. I complained this about Tenet. Or this was one of my complaints about Tenet, is that the soundtrack was overpowering the actual voices in the movie. I didn't feel that in this movie. But I mean, I don't know, whatever.
That's shitty. All the same.
But that's another reason why the movie was terrible. But you can watch it. I mean, I honestly think you might like it, to be honest with you.
Why? Why would you say that, Ray?
Well, because I feel like it's a good action movie necessarily, but the story itself was just too bullshitty for me.
Good action bullshitty.
I mean, you're watching sci-fi shit.
Yeah, I might like that.
Go watch it in theaters. I didn't see it in IMAX. I saw it in XD. I know Bryce saw it in IMAX. He said he saw like Cillian Murphy's nostrils like this fucking big on the screen. But yeah, I mean, I'd watch it again. hoping to own this one at some point. I'm interested in actually reading American Prometheus.
You should check out Memento, if anything.
I do want to check that out at some point.
That was worth a few minutes and a 6-pack, maybe.
Well, I mean, this one's 4-pack is doing me well.
Gone.
It's doing me well. I didn't watch it in IMAX, so I can't really speak on that, but I don't really see the need for it.
No.
There wasn't much action enough, unless you want to see all that vibration of like.
Oh, you mean the silly little like half animation screens they have?
Like the little cuts in between whenever he's thinking.
The subatomic particles bouncing off each other, and the string theory of representations that they had of the. I don't want to do this. It's dumb. It was really stupid.
You're not a scientist.
No, I'm not. And so the idea of me trying to describe this is just silly. So
Watch the movie. That's basically what we're telling you.
They really didn't use any effects, like special effects. It was mostly practical crapola of watching.
Well, from my understanding,
Cillian Murphy try not to shit himself.
From my understanding, there was no CGI.
Yeah, well,
it was all practical.
Okay.
Good movie. It's long. Great performances. I think that's pretty much what made the movie. The story itself moves at a pretty decent pace, even though it is 3 hours long. Check it out in theaters. Oppenheimer. We're not part of any union, so we can review movies and shit like that.
Yep.
I am only saying to go see it because it's just a really good fucking movie. So, I mean,
yeah, it was put out before all that started anyway, so you're fine either way.
But yeah, so we'll see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review. I'm buzzing a little bit, so I mean, I don't even know if we really talked about the movie. It's good. So,
see ya.